Hello students, welcome back. So in this session, the topics I'll be covering would be how you can create and declare data frame, how you can import data to a CSV, to Excel, to JSON, to Pickle, or to any database. Also, I'll show you how you can display data in different ways. So first, you want to make sure that you have Pandas installed. If you do not have Pandas installed, run this command right here. In my case, I already have Pandas installed. So when I run this command, I'm going to get this message right here: requirement already satisfied, all this. Okay, now after assuming that you have installed your pandas, so import your pandas as pd. So as pd, basically I'm just creating alias for that, so I don't have to keep calling pandas every single time. I can just say pd, short for pandas. And I'm also printing my pandas version. So in this case, my version is 2.3.3. Okay, so let's create a data frame and export the data to a file. So in this case, I'm creating a dictionary right here. In my dictionary, I have these keys: name, age, is working, and income. And each one of these keys, these are my values. So what's going to happen is that this name is going to be my column. Each one of these is going to be my column, and these are the values for that column. So let me just explain you the code real quick. So in this case, this is my dictionary. I pass my dictionary to my inbuilt method, data frame, and after passing this, I'm printing my df, and I'm also printing my type of my data frame, df. So as you can see, it's a type data frame right there, and also prints my whole data frame. So what this data frame what this inbuilt method does, it takes these columns. Okay, it takes all these values, all these keys, and it converts that into columns. So when you see name, age, is working, income. So name, age, is working, and income. This is a column. And for each one of these columns, these are the values. So this Ash, Timmy, Jimmy, Samantha. You see that? Ash, Timmy, Jimmy, Samantha. Same thing with your age. Age has 30, 30, age of 30, 33, 61, 19, none. None basically means no data right here. So it prints out 30, 33, 61, 19, and nan. Nan, by the way, is a short for not a number. So if Panda does not see a number over there or doesn't see a data, it's going to assign NaN to that. Okay, so you have to make sure that all these arrays are of the same length. Like the length of this is exactly same as the length of this, and the length of this, and the length of this. Otherwise, there's going to be a mismatch in the data. So Pandas is going to throw an error. So if I remove this none, let's say I try to create a mismatch, and when I run this, I'm going to get an error. And there you go. All arrays must be of the same length. So Panda does not like that. So you have to make sure that all the data or all the columns that you're creating, like all these values right here, all the column values you're creating, they are exactly of the same length. Okay, now let's run this cell. Okay, now there are different ways you can export data to file. You can export data to a file using CSV. So let's export to a CSV first. So I'm actually using df2csv. I'm calling this inbuilt method called toCSV, and specify your CSV file. This is my CSV file, and I'm saying do not import, do not actually put or do not export index to that. Index in this case refers to these numbers right here. You see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do not want these numbers to be exported into my data. I just want this right here, only this part. So that's why I'm saying index equal to false. Okay, another thing is I'm not specifying separator over here. So by default, your pandas is going to use comma as a separator. So when I run this, and if I go back and check, you're gonna see this employees.csv right there. This is the one. So let's open it with the notepad. And there you go. You can see that this is exactly same as this right here. So you see, this is my column name right here. And if you go down right there, this is my column name. Okay. Then let me just come back over here. Then you have Ash. Then this is my Ash right there. Timmy 33 false. Every value, every record that you see over here, the values, corresponding values are over here. And each value is separated by comma. You can see that. Okay. So now you can also save it using a CSV, but this time I'm using a different separator. I'm using semicolon. I'm not using comma. So in this case, I'm calling employees underscore semicolon dot CSV. I run this and come back over here. You are going to see employees semicolon, this one right here. So let's open this file up and notepad and minimize this. And as you can see, these are my records. And look at all the records. They are separated by semicolon now. Previously, it was using comma, but now I'm overriding that behavior. I'm using semicolon. Okay, I can also save this data to a JSON file. So in this case, I'm calling inbuilt method called toJSON. specify your JSON file, say oriented records and lines equal to true. When you run this and you go back to that file, to the directory, you're going to see JSON file right here, and open with your notepad, and there you go. So this is my JSON file, and you can see that all the records, that all the rows that are there, it's also over here, except this time now each row will contain the name of the column too. You see name, ash, age, 30 is working. So each one of these JSON file will contain each column names. Okay, so let's come back down over here. Now you can also save it to a pickle file. So in this case, I'm saying df2 pickle employees.pkl. Let's run this and come back over there. And now you're going to see a pickle file over here. This is my pickle file right here. Now this is a binary file, so you cannot view that file. You cannot read directly using your notepad. Now, why do we even need pickle over CSV? Well, pickle can store any Python object. That's one of the big advantage. Second, pickling and unpickling. The word pickling means like storing data, and unpickling means that importing the data, okay, reading the data. So when you write or read a data frame, generally it's a lot faster. So when you do pickle, so that's one of the advantage. Okay. Also, I can export my data to Excel. But in this case, you have to make sure that you have this package installed right here. So if you don't have the package installed, make sure to run this command first. Okay, assuming that you have installed this openpyxl, and so I'm calling inbuilt method to Excel, specify my name of my file, index equal to false, and I'm also specifying sheet name, that I want this information to go inside this Excel file inside this sheet. And when I run this and go back to your directory, and that would be this one right here. So open this Excel file and wait for it. Oh, there you go. You can see employees sheet. That's the sheet name, and this is the data, exactly same data that was in the data frame. Okay, then you can also write to the database like SQLite 3. So here I'm importing my SQLite 3. This is an inbuilt module. It comes with Python. You don't have to install anything over here. And I'm creating my connection. And my connection is SQLite3.connect. And I'm creating a connection to this database. So I just created this database right now. If this database does not exist, it's going to create. Okay, and then I'm calling df2 SQL inbuilt method, and I'm specifying the name of the table, and I'm also specify your connection, and also you say that if it exists, replace that table, index equal to false. So in this case, I'm calling this method, and then it's going to return a message, and then I'm printing the message right here, and it prints out the message 5. And what this 5 means, that it has written 5 records or 5 rows to this employees table, and these are my 5 rows right here. So let's go verify that. Let's come back over here. Let's go to the directory, which is right here. Let's open up this is the one. Okay, and there you go. And you see there's a XYZ right there, XYZ Corporation. Open it up. Let me just push this thing. There you go. I hope you can see now. So it's XYZ Corporation. Let's open this table up and let's look at the data. And there you go. This is all your data in the XYZ Corporation, and the table is employees. Okay. At the end, then I close my connection. It's a good idea to close your connection once you're done with that. Okay, now let's import data from a CSV file. So in this case, the same employees that I just created a minute ago using export using 2 CSV, I'm reading my CSV now. So in this case, I'm not specifying my default my separator. So my separator by default is going to be comma. So let's run this, and there you go. This is actually reading the CSV file from the one that I just created a minute ago. I can also read from a CSV, but the different separator. So in this case, my separator is semicolon. So in this case, I'm reading employee semicolon.csv. Let's run this, and it ran successfully. As you can see, it read that file. This is the same file I just created a minute ago, if you recall. I can also read from Excel. So to read an Excel, the inbuilt method is read Excel. Specify your Excel file, specify your sheet. That was employee sheet I just created. And let's run this. And there you go. It read that Excel file easily. Okay, you can also read directly from a JSON file. So same JSON file I'm reading, the one I just created a minute ago. And in this case, you specify lines equal to true. And let's run this, and there you go. It read the JSON file. So Pandas can do all this way. Okay, Pandas can also read a pickle file. So this is my pickle file I just created a minute ago. And remember the pickle file, we were not able to view through a notepad because it's a binary file, but Pandas is able to do that without any trouble. Okay, now let's read from the SQLite database. So I'm connecting to my database right here, okay, to my XYZ Corporation DB, the one that I just created, and I'm running a SQL query. I'm saying select everything from employees and also specifying your connection. So this is the connection I just made. And then I'm printing my data frame, and then I'm also closing my connection. So in this case, you can see it printed everything, all the records from the table. Okay, you can also read from the internet. So, but make sure it's legal, because you do not want to read stuff from the internet that some websites may not allow you to read. So, for example, let's look at this one. In this case, I'm saying df.pd.read CSV. Instead of specifying my CSV file, I'm actually specifying the URL right here. So this is the URL. So if I copy and paste this, come over here, paste it over here, and this is that file. So this is the raw file. Oh, let me make it a little bigger so you can view. So this is the raw file right here. Okay, so now, so let's run this and wait for it. Let's see how long it takes. There you go. You see, this is a Titanic data set. So it reads all the data set and it prints out the records right there. Okay, you can also read from the Wikipedia. But again, as I said, make sure that's illegal. Otherwise, you may, don't want to be running a while loop to print, to read some database or to read your, websites like that. Okay, you can also read. So there are different ways you can read. Pandas gives you all these options to read from the URL directly. Okay, now display data frames. So now I'm going to show you how you can display your data frames. So in this case, I'm reading my CSV file, which is employees.csv. And right now what I'm doing, I'm just creating a copies of my CSV. So this is my employee CSV. And the way I'm creating a copy, there's an inbuilt method called concat, which is a short for concatenation. And I'm just creating copies for DF, DF, and DF3 copies. And I'm just creating another new, brand new DF right here. So this way I don't have to, this way I can create a fake data set that will be a little bit bigger. That's all. And then I'm printing my data frame right here. So this is my data frame right here. So you can see these right here, these values, it just got printed. I mean, it got added 3 times. Okay, right here, this one again. Okay, and this one right here. This is my third one. Okay, the reason I did this thing just to make my data frame a little bigger. That's all. Okay, now let's say you want to print just the first 3 rows. Well, for that, you do df.head. And what head is going to do is going to print the first part of your data set. In this case, I just want the first 3 rows. So you say df.head. Well, what if you want the by the way, you can see something else. Let me just show you one more thing. You can see it's the first 3 rows by looking at the index 0, 1, 2. It's the first three records. Okay, what if you want the last 3 records? Well, let's run that, and you can see it's the last 3 records 12, 13, 14. Okay, what if you want to print just a random samples? Okay, in this case, I'm saying sample me 3 random rows, and each run is going to produce a different output. You see that in this case, I'm saying just select me any 3 random rows, and it selected index 10, index 14, and index 9. Okay, if I run this again, look at that, it produced something else, different answer, but it's always going to give me 3. Run it again, different answer. Okay, but it's always going to be 3. Maybe I don't want same answer, maybe I want some other answer. So there is sorry, maybe I don't want different answer, but I just want the same answer every single time. Well, you can do that too, by running this right here. So come down here and let me just comment this one out. In this case, I'm saying df.sample n equal to 3 and random state equal to 42. So now when I run this, it's going to produce me 3 sample. When I run it again, it's going to still give me 3. Come down here, run it again, still 3. And it's exactly same record. Okay. All right. Let's come down. Let's comment this line out. Coming back to this. Well, what if you want only 20% of your data, not through the count, but through a fraction? So you specify a frac equal to 0.2. So that's going to give you 20% of your data. So 20% of my data is this right here. Okay. Then what if you want uh, 5 data, but you want the replacement? In other words, you may get duplicates. So in the previous one right here, the difference between this and this is that this one is not going to give you duplicates, because each time when it picks up a data, it's not going to pick up the same data twice. But in this case, this will give you that duplicates can appear in this case. Okay, so in this case, I'm saying replace equal to true. Okay, so let's run this. And there you go. You can see, look at this, index 12, index 13, index 0, index 6. You see index 6 is appeared twice right here. So this is your duplicate. Okay, so I hope this session helps. Thank you, students.